Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Mile 17 podcast. It is Colton, your host. And if you keep hearing the little creaking, see that? Yep, that's because my chair needs some like WD-40 or something. I don't really know, but it's loud. And every time I move, it makes the little creaking noise. But you know what? Whatever. It's just going to be part of our podcast today. I wanted to touch on something that I feel like is very relevant and important to talk about, and that is just the importance of starting something now and not putting things off. And hear me out, because we all do this. We're humans. And we've all heard the runaround, whether it's been with you or it's been with a friend or a family member or whoever it is who keeps talking about doing something big or something small or making a change or leaving a job, leaving a relationship, or just like starting something new and going down a different journey or different path for themselves. And what ends up happening is people just talk about it and they never end up putting the action behind that thing because they're waiting for something. They're waiting to do XYZ once they have their car paid off. Then they can start going down this venture because that money will be opened up. Let me tell you, as soon as that car is paid off, you're going to find something else to do with that $500 you've been spending every month you're going to start paying towards something else, or you're going to start doing something else with it, and something else is going to come up and you're not going to be able to start that thing. And what I'm here to tell you is that if you just start something today, if you start doing something now and start taking those little steps and stop letting excuses take over and win, you are going to thank yourself later. And I allude to Rachel Hollis so much because I love her. She's amazing. Her platform's amazing. And she's really been a guiding post for me in my personal development journey, my self work, and just learning how to have gratitude and everything like that. Check Rachel Hollis out. She has like a book coming out soon. I actually already pre ordered it, and you should too. And no, this is not an ad. I've never met her before. I'm just telling you, she's got some great work. I think you should pre order the book. Anyways, so she has a brand and it's called Start Today. And I've got some journals that I stock just because I love how it looks. And it's a nice little gratitude journal for me to just jot down my thoughts. And she also has like some hats. And, anyways, the whole brand is called Start Today. And the whole point of it is that, like, you're not promised tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen in your life. And so, what are you waiting for? If you're like, yeah, I'll do this next year, I'll do this next week, or like, I'll start this next month. Like, you don't know if that's ever going to come. So why wouldn't you just like start it today? And the thing with starting something today is like, you don't have to make a huge drastic change right now today. Like when I'm telling you, when I'm saying to start today, it's start formulating that plan, start writing something out. And how are you going to do that? What is one small change that you can make to start getting towards that goal? And let's just take this podcast as a great example. When I had this idea of the podcast, that's it's big, right? It's a lot to go for in life, is to start a podcast. How do you do this? What microphone do you need? How do I set this up? How do I post this to Spotify? How do I get this on Apple? How do I do anything? Like I had no idea. And something that I did was I literally just like started. Like I bought a microphone. Okay. I bought the little thing. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see this little thing here, the boom arm. I bought this and I was like, all right, let's see what we can do. I had some janky headphones that I had bought. These ones that I'm wearing are Beats, but I got these as a gift. I think my mom got these for me. Thanks, Mom. But the whole point is, if there's something on your heart, if you have this dream, if you have this ambition, like, and it doesn't even have to be like a financial thing, it doesn't have to be this huge, big aspiration goal, but if there's something that is heavy on your heart, you keep thinking about it, you keep ruminating on it, it's like spinning in your mind, like it's there for a reason. So that means it's time to act on it. And that it may be something as like you're like tired of the job you're in, you want to leave it, you want to switch industries, or you want to go into a different company within your industry. Like there's a reason that you're thinking about these things. There's a reason that you're having these thoughts, and it's time to act on it. And so what I'm saying is, like, back to the podcast example. I bought these things and I just started doing small things. Like my very first episode, I just like went out to my car and I used, I thought, oh, I think maybe it'll be better sound in there. What I really think I wanted was to just like be by myself because I was afraid of anybody hearing me talk. And so my first episode was like in my car. I was recording on my iPhone with literally this microphone in this video that I'm using. It was plugged into my phone. I had set it up and that's what I used to record my first episode. And like, so that's like a small thing. Like, I didn't buy a whole studio. I didn't go rent out something in Boston, this whole studio that I'm having to spend thousands of dollars on. Like, yes, I invested a little bit of money as far as like buying the microphone and stuff, but like I didn't go like way out of my way because I didn't even know if I'd like it. Like I wanted to just like give it a try and see how it would go. I didn't know how to make cover art. I didn't know how to get online and create anything. I had no idea content. I had no idea what I was doing. And all I did was I just started. Like I just started doing it. And I think through that process, like it's important to note that like you're gonna fail, you're gonna do things that you're like, well, that was silly, or that didn't work, or let's try this. Or sometimes you start something and you're like, I don't like this. Like I don't want to do it. This is not worth the stress. This is not what I thought it would be. I'm gonna X this out of my life, but at least I tried, and now on to the next thing. And the reason I say that is because sometimes we have these dreams that we think we want, and we're like, it's just like going through your brain. You can't stop thinking about it. And then you get there and you're like, nah, no, this isn't for me. And that's okay. That's great because you know what? At least you tried it. And now you're not going to spend all your time fixating and ruminating on this thing that you have been wanting to try because now you tried it and you hate it. And that's amazing because now you know something about yourself. You can exit off and you can leave the podcasting to the people who enjoy it. And so that's kind of the first part of like starting today, starting something new. And if you need some inspiration about this, I'm telling you, just go visit Rachel Hollis and her site and her products on Start Today, because literally just like having a hat that says Start Today and on the back says like, I don't even know what it says, like tomorrow's not guaranteed or something silly. Just putting that on, like I just feel like, oh, you're right. Like just start today, make little incremental changes. Nothing's going to change overnight. I'm not going to like post the podcast and tomorrow wake up and be number one on the charts, although that would be really cool. But like I'm realistic. I know that's not going to happen. And so if you can just allow yourself to just go through it, know you're probably going to fail a little bit and be comfortable with that and understand that like even if it is uncomfortable with that, find comfort in the discomfort. You'll come out on the other side a better person with more wisdom, regardless if it's something that you end up pursuing or it's something that you end up being like, I'm done, I'm quitting this, on to the next thing. Let's talk about that perfect moment that everybody seems to think is going to happen. Like, you know, like I said, you talk to your friends, your family, your siblings, whoever it may be, that's always like, yeah, like when this happens, I'll do this. Or like, when this works out, then I'll be able to do this. Or when this happens, then I'll have more time. I'm like, bitch, no, you ain't ever going to have enough time because that's life. And there's always going to be stuff. If you have kids, you ain't ever going to have the time to do anything. If you have dogs, you're never going to have just the time to do anything. If you're married, you're not just going to have all this time. If you have friends, obligations, if you have a job, if you have 3 jobs, if you have aging parents, if you have anything, like literally, if you have a life, if you are a living human being, there's never enough time. And so if you're waiting for like that perfect moment where you're just like sitting back and you're just like, okay, I'm ready now. Like I have so much time. I'm just going to do all this stuff. If that's you, girl, you ain't like the rest of us because none of us have that time. And that's why I'm sitting here telling you, like, just do it. Like, just start making the little changes because if you want it bad enough, if it's something that's like that heavy on your heart and you're like, I want this, you will find a way to pursue it. You will find ways to learn about it. You will find ways to get into that industry. There's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And where there's anything as far as a will, a way, any of that, there's also an excuse. So you either can take down the road of excuses or you can go down the road of there's a will, there's a way, I'm going to figure this out. And those are our two paths. Those are our two journeys, like excuses or there's a will, there's a way, and I'm going to figure it out. And we all have in our brains, we all have the functionality to go either way. We can go either direction. And in my life, I've had both. I've had moments in my life where I'll give you every excuse in the book as to why I'm not doing something or why I don't have enough time, and a lot of it is my own fault because my biggest downfall is I will fill my schedule with so much stuff. And most of it is just work because I'm not going to lie to you. I think there's part of that is like an addiction issue of just working so much. Like, yes, I'm addicted to work and I'm telling you that right now. And I'm trying to unlearn this actively. I'm trying to unlearn that. It's something that is innately in my body, in my bones. And I am trying so hard to let go of the need to like fill my schedule jam packed. Like literally, if I showed you guys my calendar, you would probably be like, dude, what is your problem? Like, and my poor husband's always like, okay, like no time. Like I jam pack it. And then I wonder why I'm burnt out and I wonder why I'm so tired. And if I went back and looked at my calendar, I know why. That's exactly why. And so again, that's my excuse. Like whenever I'm trying to do new things or I want to further my social media presence or I want to edit my book a little bit or do some more work on my podcast and actually produce more for this podcast, I'm like, oh, I don't have enough time. I'm tired. And it's like, that may be true. The time may be limited. I may be exhausted. But there's a reason. It's me. And if I can't take a look in the mirror and change that about me, I'm just going to continue doing the cycle of like work, exhaust myself, work, exhaust myself, and not leave enough time to do these things that I'm passionate about and I love. And that is the message for you is like, do the things that set your soul on fire. Because if you can start to build this life of things that you love to do, and eventually, if you can are lucky enough to like make money in the thing that you find passion over, amazing. And also remember, like, you don't have, not everything that you're seeking has to be like money. It doesn't have to be like a career thing. Like right now I'm training for the Honolulu Marathon, and let me tell you, another reason why I don't have a lot of time to do things, because running takes up a lot of my freaking time. I am running so fucking much. Literally, training for a marathon is so time consuming, and I'm here to tell you that it's an amazing feat. I am super proud of myself. I've only done one marathon, and this is going to be my second one, but it's a lot. It takes a lot of time. Like now, when I'm getting towards marathon day, because I run the marathon in December. It's October when I'm recording this. The closer I get to December, the more time I'm putting in because the runs are getting longer. Like the other day, I just went out for a 13-mile run. Like, who does that? Who just goes out and runs 13 miles? When I was at work the other day, I literally got off at noon. I worked 4 hours in the emergency department. I had such a small window because I had a 1:30 meeting. So literally, I knew that I had that meeting, and the rest of my day, I didn't want to have to like get home, have the meeting, and then go run after the meeting because I had stuff I wanted to do. So literally what I did to fit that time, and this is how crammed my schedule is, to fit that time and optimize my time. I got off at noon from the hospital and I ran 6 miles from the hospital to my apartment. And guess what? I got home with 15 minutes to spare to get on my 1:30 Zoom meeting. And that is the power of not letting excuses run your life. And let's touch on this topic of you'll never have today back. This day will never be back. Like this person that you are right now, gone. As soon as you go to sleep, this day is wiped. Calendar, X on the calendar, it's gone. And once you start to realize like how freaking fast this shit goes, it's almost scary. Like life is long. If you're lucky enough to live a good life of 90 to 180, I don't know, it's a long life. But as the days go by, you're like, oh my God, like this is going so fast. And like, if you just would start now instead of being like, it's October. So instead of being like, okay, January 1st, I am starting that health journey because everybody will be ready to be healthy on January 1st. Instead of starting that on January 1st, if you just did it today, if you started being healthy now, do you know how much further ahead you'll be on January 1st? So when the people are buzzing and they are just like on cloud nine because it's a new year and everybody's motivated and ready to go, you're going to be like, bitch, I'm already 3 months ahead of you. I'm ready to go. Like, let's continue rolling this. And so that when everybody's falling off their New Year's resolution, like you already have built those habits because you started when you had that itch to get going. And it's not easy. Like, I'm not here to be like, it's just so easy, just go out and start. Like, it's hard. Like, and that's why things like being healthy and starting a business and switching industries and like learning a new job and climbing the ladder, like they're hard for a reason. And it's like not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's willing to put in the time to be who they want to be. But it's so important to start to recognize like who you are, who you want to be, how you want to show up in the world, and to start now because there's no better time. Like you're never going to, again, I'm going to keep saying this, you're never going to have a time where you're just like, oh, this is the perfect moment for me to now do this. Like, no. It always sucks to have to meal prep food. It always sucks to have to get up at 5 a.m. to get to the gym before you go to work or to go to the gym at 6 p.m. after you just worked a long day. It sucks to get off of work at noon and have to run 5 to 6 miles home just to get that run in. Like, it sucks. And I will be totally honest with you. But you know what? It's so fucking worth it when you can just like be so proud of yourself. You can feel good in your body. You feel like you're gaining skills and wisdom in the industry that you want to be in, and you're working towards your goals. Like there's nothing better than that. And I think what happens is like so many of us could just get so focused on the wrong thing. We get focused on the wrong damn thing. And I am living proof of that. I literally am always focused on the wrong shit. I'm always getting it wrong. I'm always catching myself being like, why are you so focused on this one thing? And you want to know what my one thing is? It's money. I get so focused and hyper focused on just money, which is why you will find my schedule jam packed of shifts and hospital work, because I'm just like, I just need to make it all. And it's a scarcity thing. And again, I am working through that shit. I'm trying. I'm doing my best every single day. Some days are better than others. I am like working through that and learning how to not focus, hyper focus on just one thing. Is money important? Yes. And everybody has a different level of importance of money. But for me, it's a scarcity thing. It's something that I have like deeply rooted in my soul from just, I think, childhood. Like it's just not. I don't have like this like abundance mindset of money, and I'm learning. I really am. I have gotten so much better, and I have amazing days. But then there's some days where I just like take 5 steps backwards, and I have to recognize that. But the thing is, and this is what's amazing about therapy, is it helps you to recognize when you're in these states. And once you can like recognize those things, then you start to like get better and build the ability to bounce back quicker than before. Okay, I'm going to end on a few different things here. First thing I'm going to end on is I can guarantee you the reason that most of you are not doing the things that you want to do and living the life that you want to live is because you're afraid and you have so much fear inside of your body. And I don't blame you. All right. I really don't. I do too. I've gotten much better, but at times I've let fear just run my entire life. And I'm here to tell you that that fear is not just going to go away. It's not going to go away overnight. You can't shoo that fear away. What you can do though is learn to harness that fear and to live with that fear and to not let it control you. And instead of like feeling the fear and running away, you look at that fear and you ask why. Why are you here? Why is this fear showing up at this moment? And you face it and you move through it anyway. And when you start to do that, that's you taking control of your life. Whatever that is for you, wherever that fear is showing up, you are the only one who can take that fear and face it and move through it. Take this, for example. Take a job interview. I think everybody's afraid of a job interview, whether it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It really doesn't. I remember interviewing for a Yard House position. If any of you know Yard House, it's a restaurant. I don't know. Yeah, they're everywhere actually, because I've been to one in Boston, and the one that I applied for was in Scottsdale, Arizona. And that was probably, I think, one of the only restaurant jobs I ever applied for where they never even called me back to tell me no. They just never called me. And but I remember like the feeling of going into that interview, like I was terrified. And like, it doesn't matter what you could put me in a job interview now, even as a nurse that I've been doing this for a while. And it could be in like the ER where I'm comfortable working. And I still would just be nervous because it's somebody's talking at you, asking you questions. And it's like a performance thing. Like you're worried, you're fearful. And so what I'm trying to get to here is like, you can either let that control you, you can be terrified, or you can just use that fear, understand that it's there, and just be like comfortable in the discomfort and just move through it anyways, because the fear's not going to go away. And this ties back into you waiting for like the perfect moment to start things. It's not going to come. It's not going to happen. Like it's going to be there. The fear's going to be there. The perfect moment's never going to arise. You have to start now. You have to start today. Whatever that thing is that's really heavy on your heart, you have to start it today, or you're never going to do it. You're just going to keep putting it off. And then you're going to get to that moment. You're going to get to January 1st and you're going to be like, oh, maybe next year. You know what I mean? And then like before you know it, like your life is just like so far behind you. And like even if you're 60 or 70, like these things are never too late. And that's what I love about this kind of space is like it's very inclusive of you can be 17, you can be 70. Like and like there's so many things that you can do with your life and like ambitions that you've been wanting to chase. Like just do them. Just do it. All right. Take it back to Nike, who says to just freaking do it. Just fucking do it. I recently had the honor, the absolute honor, to have a conversation with an amazing person in the nursing community who I'm not going to name because I think that this episode might come out before hers. But we were talking about, you'll hear it in her episode. She's amazing. We were talking about just trying things and not being so stuck in this is like, especially for nurses, like not being so stuck in like your one specialty. Like if you're not happy for whatever reason, and this is what she said, her words, like if it's management or if it's just the unit or the type of work you're doing, like don't stay there. Like give it some time. If you've been there for like 6 months to a year and are like, I hate this, like why are you staying? Why are you suffering? Like you don't have to suffer. Has anybody ever told you that? You don't have to suffer. You really don't. If you hate your job, you do not have to suffer there. There are so many options, and especially for my nurses out there who are listening to this, you have so many options. Please understand that. You are not stuck in what you're doing. Take the time to know yourself, to learn yourself, to figure out what you want. Try new things. Like you never know what is going to come, what opportunities are going to fly your way if you are willing to just open the door and take a look at what is behind that door. And if you don't like it, close it and move on to the next one. It's like walking, it's like trick or treating. That's a great metaphor. It's like trick or treating. You're walking down the street, and I remember when I was a kid, I'd walk around. Sometimes I'd have a little pillowcase or I'd have a little plastic bag full that would have candy in it. And you go to the next house, you knock. Some of them don't answer because they are the Halloween Scrooge and they don't want to hand out candy to the kids. Okay, on to the next one. You go to the next one. They open the door. They give you some milk duds because milk duds are disgusting. And you're just like, okay, well, at least it's candy. Well, I'm going to move to the next one. You go to the next one. They give you some mini Snickers and some mini Hershey's. Oh, those are good. Okay, I like those. And then you go to the next door and they are giving out the king size, the biggest Hershey bar that's the size of your face, and you are the happiest kid in the neighborhood. That is what it's like when you start seeking opportunities and you start opening doors instead of being afraid and allowing yourself to try new things. Is eventually you're going to get to that king size Hershey bar and stop getting the little milk duds. Okay? I will leave you with that. The sun is starting to blind me because I didn't close my blinds. And now I have half lighting on my face, half no lighting. And this is just great. But you know what? Oh, that's good. Baby, that golden hour. If you're watching this on video, girl, my skin is glowing. All right, everybody. I am so grateful that you're here. Thank you for hanging out with me on the Mile 17 podcast. I am sending you all so much love, and go out there and start those things now. Start today. Go visit Start Today. Follow Rachel Hollis on Instagram. She'll post all her cute outfits and she'll give you some inspo. Go buy her books. Again, I'm not an ad for Rachel Hollis. I'm just like, I love to give credit to people who just do like amazing work in this world. And she's one person who I just feel like does like such amazing work for everybody in this world. So, again, sending you love, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.